योऽन्ता प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तान् सञ्जीवयत किल शक्तिधरा स्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणात् त्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं कथाञ्चना स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्रीचैतन्य नमामि तम्। Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your patience, all of you, for joining again for our ABC sessions. Today, we will be discussing briefly on the holy names, then we'll chant for some time, and then I want to make a small presentation on the topic of how we can move from a doing culture to being with Krishna. So first about the holy names. Now, His Holiness Srila Satchidananda Swami Maharaj made a very profound point some years ago when I was hearing his class. He said every devotee needs to ask himself or herself one question. What is it in Krishna consciousness that is alive in you? What is it that you are deeply convinced about? It doesn't have to be everything. It doesn't have to be many things. It can be just one. And he gave many examples. So for him, it is a holy name. Out of his humility, he shared his own experience. He said after 20 years of practicing Krishna consciousness, he was at a crossroad where he had to make two choices. He saw that what was promised to him, he didn't experience in bhakti. So he had a choice of leaving Krishna consciousness. Or the second choice he had was to dive deeper into Krishna consciousness. He says he preferred the second choice. And because he dived deeper, he reaped the benefits. And he discovered holy name as his shelter. He discovered holy name is what is alive in him. Similarly, we see some devotees, they're attached to deity worship. Some devotees are attached to reading Bhagavatam. So there has to be something that we're deeply convinced about. So then I began my own journey and I started journaling, meditating, reflecting. And there is something which you will see many times in my class. I repeat this theme because I am in that space now about the concept of surrender. Not that I'm surrendered to Krishna, but how we always live in three states. Either we live in the sense gratification space in our mind, or we live in the space of struggle, or we are in the space of surrender. So this is what has deeply resonated with me. And I feel very connected to this principle of moving from sense gratification to struggle to eventually surrender. So when we are chanting Japa, all of you will be chanting now for some time. As we chant our Japa, you will see that our mind will drift to one of these three houses or these three spaces. Like for example, while chanting, you could be thinking of pizza, samosa, enjoying something, or enjoying the opposite sex, enjoying a movie, whatever. Sense gratificatory thoughts run through our mind as we are fingering the Japa beads. Some of us, we will not be in sense gratification space. We may be in the struggle space. We may be thinking, I have to do this job. I have to send an email to this person. I have to buy grocery. I have to solve this problem. So that is called a struggle space. So most of us are either in the sense gratification space or in the struggle space. What we will do today for the next 10-15 minutes that we're going to chant, we will chant in the space of third space, which is surrender, which is where we let go the struggle and we offer our heart to Krishna. I know this sounds very abstract and vague. What does it mean to surrender to Krishna? It doesn't make sense, or it doesn't have... we want to do something practical which shows we are surrendered. So what we will do, practically what it means is this. This is what I do this is what helps me enter the surrender space. So when I begin the japa, the first few mantras of the round, I struggle in the sense I try to listen to the holy name. Just come back to the holy name. Again, very, very important. Many of us get trapped by this. We tell our mind, oh, I have to listen to the holy name. I have to listen to the holy name. Stop telling yourself that you have to listen to the holy name. Just listen to the holy name. The problem is we give too much importance to the mind. We give too much importance to the self-talk. That even while chanting, we are doing this self-talk. So initially, yes, you struggle by focusing, by bringing the mind back, by saying, I want to listen to this holy name, I listen to this holy name, I listen to this mantra. But after, say, 20, 10, 15, 20 mantras that you struggle to listen to the holy name, you have put all your energy, then you let go the struggle. Then you simply are with the holy name. Yes, the mind will wander again. But because you have put your effort in the first 1 minute or 2 minutes of your 7 minutes chanting, you will see that just like the engine pulls and all the bogies, all the coaches of the train also move with the train. Similarly, when we chant the first few mantras in the struggle space, we listen to the holy name, then it becomes easier to come back to the holy name. Please remember, struggle is important because struggle is also a sign of surrender. If we don't struggle, we will go to the sense gratification zone. But we can't be struggling forever. We need to take a leap of faith and call out to Krishna and say, Krishna, I am yours. Krishna, please allow me to receive you as I'm chanting the holy name. See the chariot we are driving, the horses are running wild. When the horses are running wild, you are helpless. In the second space is where you come and take charge of the chariot, control the reins of the horses. That is the second space. And third space is you realize the horses are very difficult to control, so you let go. But this time the horses are not going on their own. You have raised your hand and you have begged Krishna to take charge of the chariot. So the first space where the horses are running wild and the passenger is spaced out, that is compared to the sense gratification space. The second space is where we all are now. We are holding the reins of the horses. That means we are struggling. We want to take charge of our life. We want to be in control. That is the struggle space. But as we struggle with the holy name, we will realize the mind is incorrigible. The mind is impossible to control. So at some point of time, we need to let go and see Krishna's magic. We need to allow Krishna to take charge of our existence. Gopinath, अनाथ देखिया मोरे, तुम्ही ऋषिकेश, ऋषि कदमिया, तारा है संस्मृति घोरे. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Oh Gopinath, oh Krishna, please see me as an orphan. And to me, Rishikesha, you are the controller of the senses. Rishika Damya, you control my mind and senses. You take charge of the chariot of my life. And then I am in the surrender space. When I allow Krishna to take charge, that is called the Draupadi's. That is what Draupadi did. She raised her arms and she called out to Krishna. So we have to struggle for some time, and then we enter the stage of being or surrender. And we will discuss more about being when we after the japa. So again, I'll emphasize what we are going to do. We have this beat bag. We are going to chant. So when we chant, the first few mantras, we will focus on listening to the holy name. We pull the mind back. We will put full energy. But at a certain point of time, you'll see that the struggle is unsustainable. The struggle is exhausting. So you let go the struggle and allow Krishna to take charge. Basically, come back gently. Initially, you are focused. See, generally, I'm not able to, because I did that. Sometimes I would chant, struggle the whole 16 rounds, 2 hours, and then I would be so exhausted after it, I couldn't do any other service. But when I started doing this way, struggle for a few mantras, and then, just like the example the Bhagavatam gives us of the horse. When you're driving the horse, you pull the reins tightly, then you let go, you loosen it also, then you again tighten it. You don't go to extremes. Similarly, we're not saying you allow the mind to wander. It's just that don't struggle, but allow Krishna to take charge. We are trying to force Krishna to enter our hearts. That is like struggle. We are struggling with the mind. But there is also a need to allow Krishna to come to our hearts, to come to our mind. How you do that? It's your inner call to Krishna. And we will discuss more of this when we dive into the topic today after the Japa session, from doing to being. But at this point of time, I want you to understand this concept. When the mind is in, ask yourself while chanting, where is my mind? Is it in sense gratification space? or surrender or struggle space, if it is in sense gratification or struggle, release yourself from that and enter the surrender space where you just receive the holy name and you are with Krishna.